They definitely are.
I know.
All those things. All right, well, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Open Coin Door podcast. It's been so long. I almost didn't remember the name of the show. I don't know who I am. I don't know where I am.
You did a great job.
You know,
opening the opening line was really good.
Thank you.
You
We were gone for a week. Feels like forever. But for the first time in forever, I was.
Nobody sang that the other night.
No. I don't know. There was a lot of Frozen. There was a lot of stuff.
There was.
Yeah, we had a karaoke night that was all about movies, which ultimately turned in. It wasn't solely Disney, but there was a lot of Disney.
There was a lot of Disney.
There was a lot of Disney.
But it was soundtrack. We had put it out there as soundtrack,
which was good.
It started very slow.
But speaking of Disney, that's where I was last week. I was on vacation, so I thought about like trying to do a remote podcast, and I'm like, nah, we'll take a week off. It's fine.
Do it.
You
deserve it.
Yeah, I deserve it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you for validating that.
I mean, you run the coolest place in the town, so.
So yeah, I was at Disney for the week and got back on Friday, and then got right back into the action on Friday. But Disney was super cool. And this is kind of semi-related to this space, I think, in some respects, because, like, even though I wasn't excited, let's be clear, I wasn't excited about going to Florida in July, just right as a baseline there. Like, that's not
Poor
the
life
time.
choices.
Yeah, right. So I wasn't excited about that. And Disney, I'm not a Disney adult. I don't really get that. I mean, great for people who are into that level of things or whatever. However, this wasn't my first time there, and what it reminded me being there is it's really inspiring to see a company that's all in on an aesthetic. And I think that's really, for me, it was really inspiring. I'm standing in the line for Guardians of the Galaxy, and every effing detail down,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it's just you look at everything. It's the screws that they're
all
using,
of it.
The tile on the floor, the ceiling, all the paint job on that little light plate over there. And it's every ride I'd be waiting for, because you wait for some rides at Disney.
But that's why they do that, though. It is all encompassing.
That immersion is just incredible,
yes.
and that dedication to art was just really inspiring for me. So,
well, it's like the dedication in this living room.
Yeah, right.
I mean, they're not.
It made me want to go through a fine-tooth comb on this place and be like, what else could I be doing?
What else could
the
you
light
make?
switches be different? Could the all these things. It's just every little detail was just sort of I mean, I noticed, so I know people notice that stuff.
Yeah.
And it just adds to that element. I was just really inspired by it. So I don't know, that for me was the coolest thing. I mean, there were obviously certain highlights. I mentioned Guardians of the Galaxy, that new ride at Epcot. Insanely cool.
I told you it was going to be. First of all, I need to tell you, it was not colder here while you were in Florida.
No.
It was hotter here.
Yeah.
So you had better weather. And it was like being in Florida here. Very humid, rained every day.
I'm not going to lie.
All the time. It rained all the time while you didn't miss anything.
And Florida wasn't as hot as I expected it to be. And in fact, I think they overcompensate because they're used to it being so hot. So the building's ACs were
freezing
going oh my God,
yeah.
It was 93 degrees, it was 63 degrees in some of these restaurants. And I'd be could we... I was just freezing. I'm what is happening?
Can we sit outside?
I'm in Florida in July and I'm freezing my ass off. I literally on the, waiting to board the airplane on Friday, I'm not shitting you. I stood by the window to warm myself up because I was shivering so badly, because I had shorts and a t-shirt on because it's Florida.
It's Florida.
And the entire airport was like a freaking icebox. It was just so cold. I was I
think you might be a little sensitive.
I'm going to say, well, I mean, I've lost some weight, so that doesn't help anything.
Sure, yeah.
But also,
that's true.
I stood by a window and let the sun kind of help warm me up. I was this is ridiculous.
I just have this vision of you standing by an airport window.
I kept it cool, but they kept it cool. But yeah.
So Guardians, I've ridden Guardians, so we can talk about Guardians right now. I haven't. We'll talk about Tron in a second.
Yeah.
Guardians.
That's the other highlight. But yeah, Guardians. All right, so here's the thing. I've come a long way. Growing up, I wasn't a roller coaster person.
Me either.
And
Right.
like, in fact, it would make me sick. And, you know, I wanted to be. I would go to like Busch Gardens, but then I would ride like one roller coaster and I would be sick for the rest of the day. I would, you know, like, I can even remember, you know, early on taking Sydney to Busch Gardens, and it was like we'd ride one ride. I wouldn't have to even have a drink for the rest of the day because I felt drunk. Like, it just screwed with my head.
I was scared. Like, I don't like, this is really weird. I don't like heights.
See, that
so, like,
doesn't
roller
bother
coasters
me at
for
all.
me,
It's
like,
just almost like a vertigo thing for me, I think. It's just I don't
well,
know
that's
that,
what I
that
get
dizziness.
when the dizziness, like, even when I get on a ladder.
Right.
It, like, I'll be like, whoa, wait, and I have to stop, and then, but, like, the only part that I panic attack on the up.
Oh, yeah.
And after that,
click,
I'm like,
click,
yes.
click. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I can remember we went to Six Flags for our physics trip in high school, and it was the first major roller coaster. I mean, the freaking senior in high school or junior in high school, and all my buddies are I can't not get on it.
Sure.
Like, shit. I still remember it's called the Mind Eraser.
Uh-huh.
And
what a great name.
I know. I'm like, this is awesome, guys.
It's gonna
Thanks.
be excellent.
It's one of the ones that your feet dangle, so you're not
Uh-huh.
sitting on it. You're sitting under it.
Hanging.
And this is the first major roller coaster that I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid of height and I don't like these things. And I'm like, all right, we'll go and do it. And we rode that thing over and over, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, but I hated the
hanging roller coasters in general
And then-
feel better anyway. You
But
feel a bit more secure and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
And I think that's part of it for me is I want to feel secure. I've come a long way. I've had to because my daughter is huge into roller coasters.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
And neither Emily nor I, like, we both share that we don't enjoy riding roller coasters.
So you have the short
And
end of
so,
the stick.
yeah,
You have
and-
to do it.
Yeah, so, you know, like, we went to King's Dominion one time, and she wanted to ride every single ride, and we were basically, like, drawing straws between Emily and I to be like, who's riding this one? I was like, I cannot. I'm going to puke right now. You've got to take this one. So we're trying
They
to,
said, we'll watch you. We're going to sit right here.
now she's old enough that we can do that, right? Like, we can just be like, yeah, you're going to go on that one on your own. But I feel like I've come a long way. I rode some rides with her.
Okay, so...
You're not about to tell me it's an okay. It was not.
No, wait. I don't know what you're going to say, so I'm going to tell you what I think of her, and then because we haven't talked about this at all.
Right.
We haven't talked about this at all. So this is brand new.
You had told me before I left. You're like, Guardians is amazing, and I made a point. You know, we were at a resort that allowed us 30 minutes ahead of the opening of the park to get in.
So you could go in early.
We only did Magic Kingdom and Epcot. So of course, beeline to Tron.
Right there.
Beeline to Guardians.
Absolutely.
On those two
First things you do.
Yeah, right.
So for me, Guardians is... I understand that it's a roller coaster, but to me, a roller coaster is really up high and dupe and dip and loop-dees and everything. To me, Guardians is a ride.
Sure.
It's just a ride. However, you're in a car and it is a roller coaster, but because it's inside, you don't feel the
height piece. Yeah, it's not a traditional roller coaster.
And when you're in the beginning of it,
I don't think Disney has any traditional roller coasters at all. Like, I think all of their
Space Mountain, but that's not even a thing anymore, is it?
It is a thing because we rode it. However, it is inside.
It's inside,
and it's not the tick tick tick, but it is coaster-like in that regard.
Right.
You're going down and all
so
that.
Is
you're starting, I think, up
Guardians, but to me, I could ride Guardians I could ride it over and over. And dude, the beginning when you're just, I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah.
Fast forward 30 seconds. Yeah. But the beginning when they just shoot you and you're like 0 to 100.
Right.
Like right now. That's amazing to me. Yeah. I'll do that all day.
Which is kind of like
speed. I love speed. I'll go as fast as I can.
Have you ever done the Aerosmith ride at Hollywood Studios?
No.
That one is very similar. You're not like in Guardians you're going backwards. In Aerosmith you're going forward. You're riding a car.
Yeah.
But they pull you up and they're like, let's get started. And then it's just like 0 to 100. It's just like bam, and like you're just like flying forward and you're like pressed up against the back of the thing.
The coolest thing in Guardians, I'll never forget it. Madeline was sitting next to me, and I didn't know if she liked it or not. But when the car turns as you go through the thing,
which I was going to address,
and then you go around the moon in the middle.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. Okay.
Yeah, so like that's my thing, right? Like, you're like, it doesn't feel like a roller coaster. Correct. It doesn't feel like a roller coaster because a roller coaster is actually somewhat cooler in that you're only going forwards and backwards. On this ride, the whole freaking thing turns while you're moving.
Your car turns.
Oh, like that was the piece for me that would make me queasy. I can go fast as you want, up, down. I can go high. I can go low. You can go backwards. But as soon as you start turning me while we are flying around,
and then you go in the spiral,
you're spinning the whole thing, and
so
I'm just
good.
sort of like, okay. I just didn't know where to even like look, you know. Someone had told me like
everywhere.
Oh no. Someone told me stay straight forward, only look at what they want you to see at that moment in time because there's everything going on.
Oh yeah.
They use a lot of projectors and things as Disney does. But yeah, it was a lot. And then of course, so we rode it twice. Sydney wanted to ride it again in the afternoon, and I thought I was going to get out of it because of course the lines get really long.
Yeah.
And I checked and I'm like, oh, I don't think so, Sydney. It's like 85-minute wait time. We're not going to be able to do that or whatever. And then it dropped to 45 minutes in the afternoon. And I was like, yeah, we can do it. So we went back and rode it one more time.
Yeah.
But it was manageable. I think there's a difference, and we don't have to like make this all about rides and stuff, but I think there's definitely a difference in feeling of these newer rides that come out in terms of the smoothness of them, the security around them.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned Space Mountain. We rode that. It felt like an old thing. Like you felt every bump and every
rattle. And your whole body is.
It
like,
didn't feel great at all.
You're sore when you get out of that.
Yeah, right.
When you get off Guardians of the Galaxy, you're just like, what just happened?
Wild,
like,
right.
wow.
Yeah.
Or you're sick.
Yeah.
We had a couple people in our party
helped.
that were sick.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tucker.
Now I didn't feel sick at all on Tron, and that was the other highlight for me.
I don't know anything about this one.
So this is at Magic Kingdom. It's fairly new. I think in the last year or so it came out. The last time we were there, they were building it, and I could tell this is going to look like a really cool ride just from the outside shape of the building. And basically, the idea is it's the light cycles in Tron. So
right, you're in a light cycle, right?
Yeah, which is basically like a motorcycle, right? You're kind of like, you get into it and you lean forward and it actually puts something against your back, as you pull back on it. Like it comes down and like locks you into place, and that you're riding the coaster that way.
Now I need to do it.
So it's not a long ride, and there's not tons in the way of visuals. It's just a lot of like darkness and lights, and then you're outside for a piece of that. That's not all inside.
I thought Guardians was a pretty long ride.
Yeah, the Guardians was decently long. Tron, it felt like it was over before it began, but it was really cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. So
that's cool. I told we need to take one more trip while the kids are young enough, because we're not Disney adult. We like Star Wars. And we'll watch like we have Disney Plus, and like the Disney things, right?
We were trying to convince my daughter to do Universal because they've got that whole epic universe and that kind of like the newer stuff. And I like what Universal does too. Speaking of like that level of immersion and the pop culture type side of things instead of just the Disney stuff.
I love Universal, and they've got the Harry Potter stuff.
Right.
The Harry Potter rides. To me, they are. Now, I've never done the Hagrid's motorcycle. It's always been broken, or a 2-hour line.
Yeah.
And I refuse.
Right.
But the other ones are super great.
Yeah.
I mean, super awesome.
Yeah.
And there you can do the single rider.
Right. And Epic Universe has the Nintendo area.
Yeah.
There's
I heard Epic Universe, like all the rides are like 4 hours.
All that stuff too and everything.
Are the lines still really bad?
Maybe.
Are the crowds?
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember we took advantage of that single rider thing when Sydney was little.
Yeah.
To be able to like pass off
the kid.
Turns, and do that.
We did that
super
too.
Cool.
Some of the kids didn't want to go, even though we were old enough. We couldn't leave them. So we would go up and do it in like stages. Like, okay, 2 of you are going to go, 2 of you are going to stay, 2 of you are going to go, 2 are going to stay. They do a really good job of that. You went to Epcot. Did you drink around the world?
We walked
or eat around the world?
You know, I was so looking forward to the food.
You said that.
None of it was open. It was so weird.
What?
It was like 11:30, and most of the food stands weren't open. Now, it wasn't. They do like a big food and wine festival. That wasn't happening. So I think some of the stations were meant just for that, and so they weren't running stuff. But even then, I'm like, it's 11:30. We're getting to noon. And it didn't feel like there were a lot of food options. other than like you got to go into this restaurant and have a reservation or whatever. And I was
That
just
sucks.
like, I was just kind of looking forward to just some weird, like I want a brat in Germany, or like
go
I want
over there
like,
and get something that I've
something
never
in
had.
Morocco.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't pan out. There was some good beer. I got like a really German beer, Koenig Weiss beer in Germany, and then I got this really good one in Norway. It was like a strawberry cream ale. And it was so like almost like the shortcake.
I'm
right?
drinking a strawberry shortcake.
It was better than that, but it was really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good. So beer wise, I did okay, but I was like, oh man, like I wanted like all the fancy like foods around.
That's
the
what you
country.
said before you left. And
It definitely didn't pan out that way.
When we were there, the rides were broken.
The food was the biggest disappointment of Disney. I feel like they have a long way to go. And it's just you pay so much, and I know you pay everything for Disney. That's fine, but you're paying a lot for really awful food. I mean, most of the time it's like snack bar level of bad.
Oh yeah, like concession stand food.
Concession stand chicken tenders that you're paying $20 for, and you're like, this not only sucks, but it sucks in multiple directions. Like it's just so bad. So I wasn't impressed by the food, but that was it. But
did you get to do? When we stayed on a resort on Disney, but not a Disney resort. It's the only one. But we were close enough where we would take a middle of the day break.
Yeah.
And then we would go back from. Did
We
you
didn't
take a
do
break
any of
and like
that.
come home and eat and then go?
We could have. The buses ran between the resort
Yeah.
and the parks. But we typically just stayed at the park all day long. City's old enough. There's no napping or anything. So we were obviously getting there right at rope drop
I
at
would need
9
a nap,
a.m.
though. It would be
and,
me.
Yeah, right.
They're like, all right, guys, they're gonna.
Well,
No, we did it.
The lines weren't crazy for anything. I mean, the longest we waited was an hour for Tron, I would say, and probably
good.
around an hour for Guardians in the morning. Everything else, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and then obviously some stuff that's even less than that. So we got to ride everything we needed or wanted to, and we were done by like 3 or 4 o'clock.
Did you ride Pirates?
And didn't feel like we needed to go back. Yeah, we did Pirates of the Caribbean. It's
Haunted
always a good
Mansion?
one. We did Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, those are my jams.
Yeah,
The
they're good.
Haunted Mansion, I could do that. In fact,
Yeah.
it's funny.
We skipped out on Jungle Cruise. We've done that before.
Yeah,
We're
that
like,
one's kind of like, I love the movie.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise is one of my kids will make fun of me all day long because
Yeah.
like I'll put Jungle Cruise on once a week in the background. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
But
I enjoy
the ride is
ride.
like,
well, it's fine. But
yeah.
once you've done it, you don't feel like you need to do it again.
But I can do Pirates and
Yeah.
I can do Haunted Mansion. We did Haunted Mansion during the fireworks twice. And then as the fireworks were ending, we ran to Pirates of the Caribbean and we got no wait.
Yeah.
The second time we did Haunted Mansion, there was no wait. The first one there was. But again, it's really cool because they have all the cemeteries and all the statues and all the things that you go through.
Yeah.
And that one's outside, so it's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion, I mean, it's a Halloween thing
So
too.
yeah, I was just really impressed, like I said, of the immersion, and I knew it going into it.
Goals.
But just being around it, yeah, it's goals, right?
You got goals to
that,
see.
It's that level of like, yes, people have fun here, and it's a fun space and all that, but like I'm an artist by heart, and so like that touches me in a way where it's just like, oh, I really need to get my game together in a very different way, and just like add on to the experience in very cool ways.
It's so
'Cause
funny
people
that
will notice it,
right that you say that and talk like that. For years, I said this, and it hasn't died down, but it's almost like one of those things that you get, I don't want to say numb to or used to or whatever, but when people walk in here, I was in the front the other day. This happened just like last week. They were like, is this the arcade?
Yeah.
And it's the video, because it's the video
It has
locker or video room.
I think you're right that I have become normalized to it. Like this is just where I work every day
Yeah.
and everything.
But people
and I
for the first
forget
time still, and I
that
said this for
experience.
years, it's
Yeah.
so much fun to sit in there and watch people walk through this living room and look at all the things.
Right. Yeah.
And the next thing they do when they get to that door is they pull their phone out.
yeah.
It is
Right.
clockwork. If they've been here for like the first time they've been here, they'll look through. Oh, we had a TV just like that, and that's the stereo or the speakers and all the things that they do in here,
Right.
the immersion of this room.
Yeah.
And then when they walk into that, they're like, "Whoa!
Right.
I need to show everybody this."
Yeah.
Because of what you do in there. But the immersion to get in there, it's like the Disney waiting line.
Right. Yeah.
You've done a good job.
I mean, they don't have to wait that long usually.
There's no waiting.
There's no waiting, but there is that experience.
There's
right,
and you've always talked about
and,
having the experience when you come here. What's the experience, you know?
Right.
And I've talked to you a lot about this recently, about that this was your vision. This was your baby. This is These are the things that you're going to make it, right? Mm-hmm. How are you going to do? And I just looked at the posters, right? Like your movie posters are definitely on brand. I have a Tomb Raider one at home, and you're like, nah, it's not old enough, right? Like it just isn't. It doesn't vibe with the right vibe. And you're right. So if anybody wants a Tomb Raider poster, I have one. It's framed.
The really funny one about this one, and you can't see it on the camera, but I'm pointing to a Outbreak one. Yeah. It's like that was a Easter egg of the fact that we opened during COVID. So I specifically
I've never even thought of that.
I specifically chose that poster because we were in the middle of an epic pandemic.
That's right. We were right in COVID.
I was like, that'll be the right movie poster for this room.
That's perfect.
So
no, the immersion part. So I could see you wanting to fine tune things.
Yeah, just
tweak them. Like, hey, maybe we could do it, not an overhaul, but maybe
not
we
an overhaul and not massively changing things or doing a bunch of stuff. Right. But little pieces here and there could be really fun to play with.
Looking at things that you could do.
Yeah, exactly. So that was cool. And then came back on Friday, and I don't think I've left this arcade. I've been here every day since. So, like, I definitely came back.
You did not come to Emo Night Friday night.
But I was there during the day.
You were, but you should have stayed.
I came to the arcade as soon as I got home because I knew that stuff needed to get done there. Actually,
so
when
you leave, right? When you go and you leave it to the common folks to take care of your baby.
Right, the common folks.
When is there an anxiety about it? Do you try to leave it? I don't know if we ever talked about it. Did you ever, or you like? Do you check in or?
I have an amazing team, and I'm not just saying that because many of them watch this podcast. Although I appreciate them watching.
They do, and listening
but
it's to this true.
Podcast. But it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I have an amazing team of people helping me out, and that was something. I mean, I feel like like Paul has worked for me now for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of other team members have been here for a long period of time. And so, there's a lot of longevity to that. And I think early on, I decided with this business, I didn't want to be the kind of owner that had to be there every hour of every day, the linchpin that makes it happen.
Right.
I was that in my previous job, not to take anything away from my business partner because he was the linchpin too.
Sure, but
the two of us together were, but nobody else in that building, nobody else was.
Yeah.
The two founders of our company, and this was a web hosting company that we ran, it's still running without me. Jim's got it going and doing all his stuff. But I mean, I remember the days that if you can imagine running a web hosting company and I'm on the toilet at 10 p.m. with my phone open, rebooting a server for someone on the weekend.
It never stopped.
It never stopped. I literally at one point was probably working 80, 90 hours a week, easily, just to make this thing work. And so, I think going into the arcade,
now you're only working 70 or 80.
Yeah, no, so not even, no. And I think that's the thing. I was coming off of that. And, the hosting thing was successful and it worked. And did I have to do that at the time? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I can't really answer that because it happened. It's what I did. And it's what I was willing to do at the time. But I think coming into this, I was I really early on told Jim when he was still involved with the arcade, I said, I think it's time for us to have a manager. And this was 6 months into it. We had opened the doors. When we first opened, it was during COVID, and we had the restrictions on how many people could be in the building.
Right, yeah.
So there were 2-hour time slots and all that.
And then you had to clean everything.
But then in May, the occupancy restrictions went away. Mm-hmm. The mask requirement went away. We made it optional. And it was kind of it's gone, but it's not, but it's a weird time, but at least we can open the doors more broadly. And so that was when things started to really pick up because it wasn't scheduled time slots. It was just doors are open, come on in. And so that's when I was like, hey, I'm not sure, and I was still working for the hosting company at this time too.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think we need a manager, and I think that was in my head, me thinking, I need people to help me run this. You know, I can be a visionary or whatever you want to call the person behind some of the ideas of what the space looks like and the choices that we make, but
you need help running it.
I can't be the
I can't do
day-to-day
it
person
all the time, 80 hours.
And Paul.
Early on, you were though. I mean, here.
Sure.
I mean, to give you credit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not taking away from Paula, but when Paula came on, I can remember. I remember when you and I went. This was early. This might have been like.
This isn't a job that a lot of people have. So even Paula, like, she came from a service industry, and when we were originally going to hire her, it was because we were going to run a restaurant. Well, we didn't have a restaurant when I ended up hiring her. We had just an arcade.
Yeah,
she had never
there wasn't even the bar yet. There's no food, nothing.
She was like, so there was a lot of learning on the fly going on because none of us had run an arcade before.
Yeah,
we were figuring
I can
that piece
remember
out.
you and I went on vacation this was years ago, like maybe the first year she was here or whatever.
Yeah.
You and I went on vacation the first time, and this was when it was you and her, and I was just the other person that was planning everything. And she was like, you guys can't go on vacation at the same time anymore. Because you were gone and I couldn't come around to help, and she was there.
Right.
And not against her, but she was joking about it, because those were the people that were doing all of the things. So early on, but you've evolved it. You've grown it to be so that you can not be here on a Friday on an awesome emo night when it's slam packed and you don't have to be here.
We've grown as a business too, and that's the thing. It's like, so we didn't have a restaurant, but now we do. But I also have Marcus, our kitchen manager, who's amazing and helps run all of the food side of things to where I don't have to concern myself that much. I can just say, hey, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? I'm thinking about maybe offering this, and he'll be like, yeah, we can do that, and he'll figure out the logistics of it. So. There's that relationship. Paula, obviously, at this point, knows everything about running an arcade, and she can have all those conversations with people and do that.
And it comes with that experience, right?
Yeah.
In the early years, and it was years. It wasn't like the early days.
And
the early years, it was learning. It was,
and like, those are just my two managers. But even the staff, even people like Brandon and Connor and Mandy and Bowie and Christy and all the. I could name so many people that have worked here and have worked for me for well over a year or two or more out of the 4 years we've been in business. I was singing Christy and Sean's praises just a couple episodes ago. And, Connor is going back to school, and we're literally thinking like, oh man, we've been spoiled this summer. Like, what are we going to do? Because he's so amazing. And Connor's worked for me almost since day one. And so, that's really cool to have employees that are in it with you for the long haul, and they know the operations. They know how to run the arcade. They know the policies. They know how to make the guests feel welcome, and that's what people notice. And
I think Brandon's. They're all so good at it. When you come, Brandon's always super. Hey, what's going on? Hey, just so you know, all the things. Brandon's great at that. He's always in the chat when we stream.
And I know it's probably challenging because, like, anybody who watches this podcast probably knows, you've gotten a sense from me, I'm changing stuff all the time. Like, I'm constantly throwing curveballs at people.
We should probably change out a pinball machine soon.
Yeah, like...
let's do it.
I'm going to put a new arcade game out there.
That's right.
Spy Hunter.
We got to figure out what's coming out.
So, like... Yeah, I'm constantly throwing curveballs. We talked about the mixed beverage license was a big curveball that I added on. And Paul always asks me, like, what's the next big thing? And I'm like, I don't have anything else. And then I added liquor, right? So
I'm going to take a break. We're going to do a full bar, which, by the way...
Now I can't even say, like, no, I don't have anything else, because I definitely do have other ideas.
We do? So, I'm not sure.
We haven't talked about it.
We have a long trip coming up, so maybe we talk about this.
Maybe.
With the bar, another great way to get into the next one was you had specialty drinks for this weekend for Emo Night, and
which was my bartender's ideas. Like, so that was that was entirely Christy and Mandy to come up with that and to run with it and do it. And
Christy loves Emo Night.
That's so cool.
When we started Emo Night, and she actually brought up the Sad Tim picture.
That was like the first one.
Yeah, the very first one. And she was like, looking back in the day, like this. So Christy was like a big catalyst for it. And her and I really pumped this one up this time. She
there
went
were
out
a couple
to a couple
staff that wanted to do it, and I was like, I don't. Emo, like for me, emo was like Dashboard Confessional.
The Cure.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I don't.
This isn't
why
gonna
is
work.
that a vibe? I don't understand. And they were like, no, it's like Alien Ant Farm and Blink 182, and I was like, oh, we're talking about very different things.
We're talking about emo, not emo. But emo.
Yeah, emo for a different generation is just basically alternative pop punk, like.
So Christy and I had talked about the last time because we had messed it up with the cadence. We kind of didn't do it, and then we did it twice in a row, and then because we do it every other time, so it took another month, it took another one to figure it out. And you had made a commitment, I made a commitment, and I didn't know Christy did, but thank you, Christy. She did as well to really get the word out.
Well, and we've talked about the social media, like I haven't been good at it in the past, and I felt like I was leading up to it, which maybe helped as well.
I think it works.
In terms of...
there were a lot of faces that I did not know.
Which is great.
We've done so many. I mean, we've been doing it for a couple years now. And there were faces there that I actually said, so in there, one of Christy's idea was to make the drinks.
Right.
Right? So here we are. I'm sending it out off my DJ page. I'm sending it off my Facebook page. Christy's sharing, everybody's sharing it. You're paying for an ad for it at this point.
That was something new that I started doing, was taking Facebook ads out. And
so you did an ad.
Pay the piper, right? Like, you know, it does put it in front of people's faces that don't ever see it before.
Put it out there, right.
You know, versus like you put stuff out there on Facebook and nobody sees it.
Yeah. So then they wanted to make a drink.
Didn't spend a bunch of money. Like I maybe spent $80. So it even wasn't a lot of money.
Right.
Like,
That's good.
But it was enough to get it in front of people's faces and get some engagement there.
So they did the Crush, Crush, Crush.
Crush, 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 which was the orange juice and creme de cacao.
It was the chocolate orange.
Chocolate orange, yeah.
It tasted like a chocolate orange. And it was like, it was so easy to drink. Like, I need another one. Oh, I need another one. And I think maybe that was part of the genius of those drinks. Because the other one was the What's My Age Again, was the shooter, the PBJ shooter.
Peanut butter and jelly shot.
And so good, both of them. But they were smaller drinks, right? So they want to go back and get more.
Yeah.
And Paula told me the numbers the other day for both of them. And I was like, wow.
There was,
and
they did so much work that night. There were so many people. Everybody was drinking and having fun, having the time of their life, and you know, made amazing tips. And so I'm sure they're happy too.
Oh yeah.
But I will say, I came in like, and you're right. I did stay home because we traveled back on Friday, and I was just like, I couldn't rally myself to come out, even though I wanted to be there. But I was watching on the cameras. I was just chilling on my couch, and I'm like, oh my God, I look at the reports going, what is going on? And
you
I
told
watched the cameras and everything.
After 8 o'clock, there was like whatever, and I was like, wow. But I could believe it because I'm standing live in it.
Right.
So while I'm here, I'm telling them, hey, we've got a drink. Like, this is a Crush, 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 and you need to try this. And the What's My Age, I promoted it right before I played What's My Age Again.
Which is a cool thing that, like, that was one thing with having the mixed beverage license that I was hoping that we could do is more specialty drinks for events, and I think we should do more
So
of
thank you, Christy and Mandy.
Amazing.
And they were great. And I mean, the PBJ shooter is what it is. Everybody knows it. But there were a whole bunch of them. I mean, they kept coming back for more.
I'm not kidding you. Like, that's the thing where, like, if they come up with these specialty drinks, like, I definitely needed to order more. I was here Saturday morning putting an ABC order in specifically for things that we were going to run out of, and that was one of them, was the ingredients for those various things.
Two.
I mean, they were probably very close to running out of orange juice because of that Crush drink. And so, like, that was where it was like, oh, this could actually be something interesting if you want to move a certain type of liquor, or if you want to just highlight something. I had to just...
You get a new liquor, or like on one of your auctions or whatever.
We have a new one we added to the menu, the Peach Invader.
The Peach Invader, I had one.
It's delicious, right? So it's like basically like a peach iced tea. It has, and it's very local too. So it's got Bowman bourbon in there.
Bowman bourbon in it, yep.
Bowman, which is a distillery right here in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And then it has peach schnapps, peach liqueur in there. It has Maggie's lemon iced tea. And Maggie's is a local provider. They do like root beer and other like craft sodas. And now they've gotten into iced tea. And so like, and it's really good tea. And then maple syrup. Yeah. and it's delightful. Particularly, you're not a bourbon drinker, right? Like,
Absolutely not.
I'm over here right now sipping on a Buffalo Trace, and you're
That's
like,
gross.
yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I cannot do it. But, ladies and gentlemen, I can drink a Peach Invader.
Yeah.
And I requested one, and I drank the whole thing, and it's amazing.
It's so good.
But
now I'm like, oh, in the past, like I would have one backup bottle of Bowman, and I just realized the other day I didn't have any. And they were about to run out, and Paula was asking me, like, what do we do if we run out? And I was like, I guess switch to Woodford for the time being. But then I saw they still have a little bit left in the bottle, and I put in an order for 3 more bottles.
I tried to give them...
Because it's on the menu. And, like,
yes,
if it's on the menu, people will order it.
Right.
Like,
I tried to let them tell me to get the top shelf the other day. They said no. They wouldn't give me the Buffalo Trace or whatever. No. She wouldn't do it. I'm like, come on, Mandy. She gave me the cheap stuff.
What do you care if you're making it an iced tea?
No. Or bourbon.
You're gonna
it's bourbon. I don't care what it is.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't care.
I'll take a Blanton's and Coke.
No. So
no, it's awful.
They were so busy the other day that everybody that watches this knows that I'm a mojito guy.
Yeah.
And I was told I wasn't allowed to have any mojitos for an hour because they take a long time to make. And Mandy didn't have enough time to make them.
Yeah.
You know?
Muddling and then shaking takes a lot of time.
Well, the crush was like, here.
Right.
Put a cherry on it. Right? The PBJ is here. Right? Very fast.
Right.
Which I think was... I don't know if it was intended by them, but it ended up being very smart. It was a genius way to do, hey, these are going to be quick.
Right.
Now that we have experienced that, I think we can go off of that. If I can promote them, if they can come up with something. And we really, I mean, there were a ton of people.
Yeah.
It was
the numbers I looked at from 8 o'clock onwards were about 120 people, but I know people got there before 8 o'clock. So, like, I think it was even more than that.
Yeah, there were people there for emo at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then more people showed up. And then,
the entire day Friday was like 250 people, which is insane. Insane for a Friday. I can't underline that more.
It's because of Emo Night.
Yeah, right. Let's do it again.
Hell yeah. We brought all, like, we did all the things right. And it all came together correctly. And while we're there, we're promoting these drinks and this thing and this atmosphere of what is here, right?
Yeah.
And everybody leaves with a smile and wants to come back, right? And that's the thing, again, with here is, I've always... not always, but I've said often, it's like working at Disney. Like, it's a happy place. You have to work with a smile on your face and do all these things and get people to come back.
Yeah.
Right? And I think everybody here does a good job of doing that.
So how do you then, I'll throw the question back at you then, as the DJ for Emo Nights, you have that amazing banger of a night. How do you bring those people back? Like, what are you thinking through now? Because you've got 2 months, right? Like, we've been doing every other
other month for emo.
And so, which the question then would become like, do you do it monthly? Is every other month too long a wait or whatever? I don't know. But like, I'm wondering from your stance, like how, like you saw a lot of new faces. How do you keep them involved? Like what's going to be the plan there? Or, I mean, I could take another Facebook ad out and whether they see it or not, I don't know.
I
think that a flash in the pan? I have no idea.
I think they'll come back for that.
Yeah.
No matter what. I already told them about... So while I do a good job of saying what's coming up.
The other events.
Yeah. So like I told them, hey guys, if you you're all singing these songs, we have karaoke every first Friday. And they're like, oh, right?
Yeah.
Not very many of the emo crowd goes to karaoke. However, one of our core groups, all you guys, you know who I'm talking to, they come to both of them.
Yeah.
Right? So they do that. And they bring extras every now and then. They bring their friends, and they'll have
it never hurts for those people, everybody, to just know, hey, we've got other stuff.
Right, we have other things.
So all we do is DJ.
I told them about the event the next day, which would be really hard to come back to back. But I told them we're going to have a birthday bash. We're going to try the birthday bash in August, and that's when. So when I'm saying I'm not like looking at the sky, like I'm watching them.
Right.
That's when I can see them looking at each other. Like, did you hear that? Did you hear what he said? Right? That's when I can hear them. And so later I'll say that again. Hey, don't forget in August, make sure you check the socials because we're going to have a summer birthday bash for anybody that had a summer
Right.
birthday. Then I'll tell them, we do this every other month, so look on the socials for September and be on the lookout for Halloween. So I went all the way.
Yeah.
I went all the way to Halloween. Will they come in between emo nights? I want them to. They liked the drinks. They liked the food. They liked the arcade.
The interesting thing, and we can chat about this right on the podcast because I'm fine with it. I just found out about it today. Is this whole time, we've talked about Fascination Street, and I kind of joked with you because, like, you've always been like, Emo Night is the most popular event of all time. It's the best ever.
Other than Fool's Fest, but yes, they're
Other than
only regular.
the
The
regular
regular
event.
one, yeah.
And I kind of blew the wind out of your sails, I think, like
did.
a month ago, because I was like, so you say that, but Fascination Street, the goth nights that we do,
Yeah, but that was
actually
also
bigger.
right after we had our two worst.
Okay.
It
Well,
was.
I'm just
I was
saying.
feeling bad.
I'm just.
It works.
I was just sort of like, just so you know,
You motivated me.
It hasn't been the biggest, but Friday definitely was not only the biggest, in terms of regular events, but the biggest Friday that I think we've had in a very long time. So like that was just like, that's what was just crazy about it.
So-
it was really good. And so that's what makes me think like, and so what I was going to say to that is I've been talking to the Fascination Street people and they want to do every month. And because here's the thing, we've been thinking about, we just had our first Saturday night event this past Saturday and felt that went well. And so they said, would you be willing to have us on a Saturday on our off month? And this whole time I was like operating on the idea that I thought that they alternate between us and Madame Oddities.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
They said no. They said we did it once and the vibe was completely off and we've never done it again.
Oh!
So they only come to
Really?
Reclaim Arcade, and they only come every other month, and they want it to be monthly, and that got me thinking, gosh, I don't know.
Well, there's a Saturday.
It's a thought, right? Like, do you have a Saturday emo night?
No, you have a Saturday goth night.
No. I'm saying
Me?
alternate. Yeah. I'm saying, like, have emo night every single month, but have one on a Friday and one on a Saturday.
Well, we talked about that with karaoke.
Yeah.
Because the Friday night karaoke is amazing.
Because sometimes I wonder, like,
But Saturday was a different crowd. The Saturday
a different
karaoke
crowd?
was a different...
and I wonder if that monthly cadence isn't a bad thing too, because I wonder if 2 months is just long enough to forget about something. And that's all I'm like throwing out into the ether is like,
Or-
we've talked, like, if it's steady and it's good, you have enough time to promote it, it's fine. But karaoke, I think, is in part successful because it's first Friday of every month. First Friday of every month. It's just drilled into people. First Friday.
First Friday.
It's the first Friday.
Well,
We
and
do-
in Fredericksburg,
Yeah.
First Friday is a thing.
it's a thing. I think in
Like,
a lot of
First
places
Fridays
it
is a
probably
thing,
is.
right?
Yeah.
My fear,
Easy.
we did in February. We did February,
much.
March. But now, this is going to get deep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have enough time for the rest of this. So, we did the cadence of, we were every other month was super, super successful. Then we wanted to do Valentine's Day, and then, but it wasn't on cadence. So I think we ended up doing February, March, or January, February. I think we did February, March.
But I think we didn't promote well either.
That's the
I
deep
think-
part of this.
I think that's the
So
problem.
we didn't promote the
we
March
changed
one.
the lineup, and then we also didn't promote it well to say that we were changing it, and so
Right.
people didn't show up. But I think if it was every single month, and people knew it was happening, then
And the
it
May
could-
one, because it was March, we didn't do April. May was very down for emo also.
again, I'll take some. I'll
But
take some of that because
did we not promote it correctly, right?
I feel like my social media game was struggling a little bit because, in the past I had done recurring events and I didn't like how Facebook showed them, so I was trying to create them on the fly, but I was creating them very late in the game.
Right.
This whole thing about creating ads for events is new to me. I did one before Emo Night. I did Unchained, which was a local rock band.
The band, yeah.
And then we did Emo Night, and then I've got one running right now for this coming Friday. And again, I'm not spending a lot of money, but it's like for $80 for the week before the event, and suddenly people are seeing it. Like suddenly, like I'm
Yeah.
getting engagement that measures in the hundreds.
That's my thing. Like
yeah.
we didn't we promoted the hell out of the Valentine's Day one, and it was it was fairly good. Now it's on a holiday. It's people are going to go in, but it was a pretty good one. It was still good. The March one, was it January, February? No, because it was March and then not April and then May.
We skipped January, so it was February, March.
February, March.
Because
the March one wasn't good, and the May, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. And the May wasn't good. But we were not dialing down on those. Like this one, I dialed down, you dialed down, Christy did.
And I think, like, not for nothing, and again, I could be wrong in this. Let's be clear. Like, maybe it's overkill. And we've talked about, like, is it too much to do something every single month or whatever? But it's a lot easier to talk about something when it's like, this is our monthly emo night. This is Friday, and then it's Saturday. But once a month, come on out here and do this, and people will plan for it.
Once a month.
If it's every 2 months, it becomes a much weirder conversation to have. It'd be like, our next one will be in September. And you're like, I'm not even thinking of like 2 weeks from now. I don't even know what you're talking about. So like, that becomes much harder.
Do you think monthly though?
It could.
I'm afraid.
Know. Yeah.
I'm scared to do
Maybe we'll see how Fascination Street pitch you two against it. I'll be like, they're doing great. I don't know about you all.
Well, why can't you do it?
Right. I just think there's like, and I've talked about to you privately about this. I think with Emo Night, and I think we saw some of that on Friday, is there is a community there. There is something that you can tap into that goes beyond Reclaim Arcade.
Absolutely. Yes.
They're coming in for that. And that's the same thing I see with the Goth Nights with Fascination Street. They have this group of people that want somewhere to go.
They want somewhere to be. Exactly, right.
And now I know they actually haven't been going to the other spot because it wasn't what they wanted. They wanted to come here, so they want to come here more often. So it's like, if you can make this space where they can come more often, it's like, because I've thrown out to you, like, maybe the Emo Night needs to happen somewhere else on the off months. Or something to keep building that.
That's so funny.
But it could also happen here, too, on a Saturday.
Christy and I talked about that.
Yeah.
So when we tap into things like in pinball, and we talked about this on our road trip podcast.
Sure.
We know where to go.
Right.
We know we can go to Pin Side. We can go to any Facebook group. We can go to Pinball Map.
Right.
We can go to these things. Christy and I were talking about this, and I said, is there an emo Facebook group? Is there a
right.
She said, no, there's not one. In Fredericksburg, there isn't one.
Yeah.
So how do you tap into something if you don't know?
No
like,
community around
I don't know anything about Discord. Like, would there be a Discord for that? Like, is there a Instagram group? Like, I don't know anything. The only thing I know is Facebook.
Right.
Is there a group? And then we were
I think it depends on the group,
do we start
right?
the group?
Because we've talked about, I would argue that you should start something, or somebody.
We should start the group.
I think Christy could do it, or someone should do it. Like, there should be something like that. The format gets very difficult because I feel like right now we're in a moment where everything's like in a lot of different directions. To your point, we've talked about women flipping out. They've got a Discord group. Then there's people who use Facebook primarily, Facebook groups, as the way to coordinate the events that are happening and things.
Right. Where then if you're going to try to start one of these things, where are you going to start? Where are you going to start?
Yeah.
So then maybe that spot. But we had this conversation, and
my inclination,
how does it go?
Just in terms of me seeing the landscape, would be that given the age range that I see at emo, which goes a hair younger than us, I would argue.
Yeah.
So
although this week there were definitely, I played old school.
Yeah.
Like, they were requesting Blink-182. I played Limp Bizkit, and they were like, I got a tip for it.
Whereas like Fascination Street,
they were our age.
There's like old heads there. There's old goth heads that are like 45 years old there, whatever. And then it goes down younger too. Like, there's people in their 20s. Like,
Emo Night.
It's very all over the board.
The median age in Emo Night is easily 10 years younger than us.
Yeah. So then I would say Discord is probably the right answer. Discord or even Snapchat. And I
do either of those.
I say that knowing I don't nothing about it either, but we're not the ones driving it anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Christy.
Yeah, but Christy's only like a hair younger than me. Like,
That's true.
You might need to find someone even younger. Like, but even that, like, whatever it is. So Fascination Street does have that community and that group, and it's driven by someone. And I think that's the key: is you need somebody to help drive that to be a thing that runs regularly, and then I think you would have a monthly option there that would be like very successful.
I feel like if I drove it too, like if I started and drove, then it would fall on me to like find the places to be at or go to, or well, we're going to do it at Reclaim all the time, and then maybe it would grow into something else. However, you're very accepting of different spaces, different genres, different of everything. I mean, when people come in here for live music,
like the fact that we're having a drag show in October.
We are?
We are. Yeah. So, I know.
Well, I just don't get told things now?
I mean,
what the heck?
A lot of things happen.
Okay, well. We did that before.
Yeah. We did. Yeah,
it was popular.
It was.
There were a lot of people here. Well, it was in the little space.
Okay, I should clarify. We had drag performers that hosted an event for us a couple years ago. This, I think, is going to be a whole-on thing on a Saturday night again.
Oh.
But I think there's going to be like 9 performers doing like a lot of fun stuff. So like it's going to be a whole like wild
Am I
thing.
DJing?
No, I don't think so.
What is the...
It's early. I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't have like any details.
Like, I don't know anything. I just have a date.
Other than I met the person that's going to be driving things, and they came to the cosplay event on Sunday. Yesterday that I was here for.
Okay.
Dressed up as some YouTube thing, which was like they look like a flower in a pot or something. I don't know. Like apparently there's some web show that she said was a cross between.
Ask the kids.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Ask the kids.
She said it was like a cross between like the Muppets and David Bowie or something. I don't know. Like it was just all.
You're a Muppets fan,
right? I am.
How was that? So speaking of being very inclusive, you had a cosplay after party.
We did,
and people come in their cosplays.
We had an event like every single day this weekend.
But and last weekend was the FredCon,
right?
That you were part of, and.
I mean, a part of, but I wasn't here for
You weren't here.
You were here.
I went. Yeah. And so Zach had all of his stuff. He had so many things. So FredCon is like a
Fredericksburg Comic-Con.
Yeah,
right.
Fredericksburg Comic-Con.
It used to be called the Fredericksburg Comic and Toy Show, and I think they finally realized everybody calls it a Comic-Con, so just call it a Comic-Con.
That's what it is. And there are, I mean, the majority of things aren't toys. Well, that's not true. There's a lot of toys. Retro toys, comic toys. There's a lot of 3D printed stuff. A lot of 3D printed stuff. I mean, I'm going to get a booth next year. I already told Madeline. I already told the kids. We're 3D printing stuff.
That's why there's
and you're
a lot,
jewelry.
because everybody's like, I can do that.
We can do this.
Right.
So I got a call from Zach, or I was talking to Zach or something, and they were like, hey, we got to split stuff up. We have too much stuff.
Yeah.
Like, what? So apparently, the fire marshal didn't like them having all their stuff right in front of the doors. Which they weren't right in front of the doors. Because they knew it was going to be so popular that there were going to be lines of people, and they were like, that's a problem for you to be right up front. Yeah.
Which is kind of effed up. Like, if I'm really being honest, like, that kind of sucks that it's like, you're going to be popular, therefore you need to be in the back.
You need to go to the back.
You need to go to the back of the building.
But it worked.
Sort of like,
because you were in 2 spots.
Right.
So you were very front and center.
Yeah.
And everybody was up there playing games and talking to people. And then Dean, I hadn't seen Dean in 18 years.
Yeah.
Dean was in the back holding it down, and you want to talk about lines just everywhere. And Zach had all of his things in the back, and it was enormous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many booths were paid for, because that's how those things work. Like, if you go to a Comic-Con, you get a little booth, or you get a large booth, or you get multiple booths or whatever.
So we've done FredCon every year since we've been going, right? We decided early on that Comic-Con in Fredericksburg is definitely our people. Right?
Hand in hand
worse,
with
like, it goes very well with what we do. However, everybody always wants you to set up an arcade. And I'm like, that doesn't work. All my games are right here at Reclaim Arcade. I can't just take them and bring them to you. So in the years past, we've had a booth. I think the first 2 years we had a booth. Last year we had one game. We brought Mortal Kombat over there because
I remember that.
It wasn't needed on the floor. I had a second one.
I think there was 2 or whatever.
I had a second one, and so I was like, we'll take Mortal Kombat 2 to the FredCon, and we had that. This year is the first time that I felt that I had enough extra games between me and Zach is the guy, Zach Rowe. He does all of my repairs for arcade games. And he has a lot of arcade games himself. As a result, you know, at his workshop and all those things, I felt between the two of us, if we partnered, we could set up a mini arcade, which is really what they wanted. You know, what everybody wants.
It wasn't mini.
Yeah, no, it didn't turn out to be.
There were 10, 12 games.
Well, that
was packed. It was slammed.
Yeah, and that's really the downside of that particular organization is not good at communication. And so it just kind of sucks, you know, because we were told originally that it was like going to be a 10 by 8 foot spot, and I had paid for 2. And so we were thinking like, all right, so 20 by 16.
Right.
You know, and that's how we're mapping it out. And then we get there, it's 10 by 10, but then they're like, no, go to this area here and you'll have these 2 spaces, and this one is actually 60 by 70 foot long. And we're like, are you kidding me? And I wasn't even in town, you know,
right.
So Zach did the lion's share work here. Zach is amazing. You know, if you own an arcade game and you need help, Zach can help you. You know, but he's really an amazing person, and he went and got more games. He pulled games from Strangeways and brought them to the convention.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
He operates games at a local brewery, Strangeways Brewing, and he took them from there and brought them over there. And he was just like, are we doing this? And he was finally like, I'm doing this. He told me that the evening when he had to pack up, because the convention, you can set up the day before, but you got to be gone that night.
Right, you have to, the day that it is, you have to be out that night.
Yeah. 5 trips, because we only had a vehicle that would move enough games. So like 5 trips back and forth. And because he had left his truck at the Home Depot to pick up the truck with the lift gate.
Yeah.
In the 2 days that it was there, it was towed. He had to pay to get it taken from the towing. So like all of this happened. I'm not even in town.
Wait, why did they tow it?
Because it was there overnight. And he was like, because I rented a truck
from you.
So yeah, it was a whole thing he was telling me about today.
Oh.
Yeah, he had words for
wow, that's
for Home Depot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
100%.
But yeah, it sounds like a successful event. I think my only struggle with them is just their communication. And I think in the future, I just want to be like, look, if you want to be partners, let's talk about it. Because they've even like taken my logo for the arcade and put it on their homepage as a premier sponsor. And I didn't know about it. And that's weird to me. Like, as an organization...
You are not, no.
I mean,
they can't just take it.
It's like it's almost a bonus, but it's also like weird, because it's like, I'm a sponsor of you. What? Then why did I just pay for these booths? And like, so I think conversations in the future need to be had there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was a good event.
There were a lot of
there.
people. A lot of people stopped by. A lot of people. I mean, I was only there for maybe 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, I just stopped in. I held down the booth for a little while everybody was like kind of taking breaks and changes and things.
Zach told me that, like, you know, Dean did an amazing job in the back area with Lucas, and then he said Christy and his wife Elise work really well together in the front area, and were bouncing back and forth.
And Sean had a booth at his cards, and he has a reclaim card. He made. Do you know this? Did you get one? He has a reclaim card. So he made that, and so we were sending him back there.
Yeah,
and
Sean is Christy's husband. He also works for us just like 1 day a week or something at this point. But he's making Magic the Gathering cards. He's making custom ones for like Carl's Ice Cream, and he made one for Reclaim Arcade.
Carl's was there too,
Yeah, so like...
A lot of people ask questions about the arcade. A lot of people ask questions about the party room.
Yeah.
A lot. And, you know, hey, do you get a lot of people that are doing, like, retirement parties? And we're like, like all ages, doesn't matter.
All the parties, right?
And I would say, hey, if you want to do it, get online. You can book it right there. Mm-hmm. It's probably pretty far out because, you know, don't expect to be able to do it the week before.
Right.
And, you know, but Dean was saying all the same things. And to what you were talking about earlier, people that have been around here know what to say.
Yeah.
Right? They have the experience to know this is how you coach people into having a good experience here. Right.
So I think FredCon was good. It's always hard with all that setup and tear down and all, like,
Oh, yeah.
like conventions are a lot more, but
They're just showing up.
But yeah, but
Right.
you do get a lot of people that want to chat with you and talk with you about those things. So like, I was actually bummed that I couldn't attend. My wife booked us on a trip, and I was like, that is not a good weekend. She was like, too late. I was like, oh my God. So I felt bad that I couldn't be there and be a part of it all.
But you had a good weekend.
Yeah.
It was still a good weekend.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, but you know, going back to Zach, and we don't have a lot of time to talk with this. We should have an episode, I think, and this is actually a good segue to tell people, if there's an episode you want to hear about, like a topic or anything else,
Oh, yeah.
hit us up at opencoindoor@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. We would love to find out what kind of things you are interested in. We love feedback about the show or about things you're interested in with the arcade, whatever. But I want to have a show, and maybe we'll see if Zach will actually come on here, or Mike. So I have two people that do repairs for me, and probably one of the most common questions I get from people is, how do you keep these games up and running? I mean, some of these games are 45 years old at this point, and they're like, are these the original parts? And I'm like, yeah, most of them are. You know, like some of them aren't, some are reproduction parts, but most of them are the original stuff. And they're like, how?
Yeah, by
in
the
God's
time you're
name?
45, you're thinking about replacement parts.
Right.
Let me tell you.
Yeah. So they're like, how do you keep them up and running? And so, like, I think that would be a good topic for an episode, but I would love to have Zach come on and talk about it, because Zach does the repairs for me every week. Mike does all of my, Mike.
pinball.
Right, Mad Mike.
Yeah.
He does all of our pinball repairs every week.
Yeah.
And I think we have a really good system. We have QR codes on all the games. You scan it in to let people know if, like, the jump button's not working, or the left flipper's a little weak, whatever the case may be.
Or you just text the people and say, hey, the left flipper's not working.
You do not text me. You put in a report.
And then the response is, use the QR code.
Yeah, use the QR code.
Put in a report.
Right.
I think that has helped immensely.
Oh, yeah.
Because the report, Mike, it's so cool to watch Mike work on the pinballs.
Early on, if games had issues, it was hit or miss on whether anybody would say anything to a staff member.
Right, yeah.
And then that would come back to me. They'd say, hey, Tim, somebody mentioned XYZ.
Right.
And I would be like, oh, okay. And I would maybe fix it, maybe not. I might forget about it, whatever the case may be. But most people, if they're playing a game and they're like, oh, man, that jump button is sticking, they'll just walk away.
Yep.
Go on to the next game. So...
Or if it's pinball, the game's down.
Right.
And then you don't know why.
You don't know why.
They're like, whoa.
It's just turned off.
I don't know what's wrong with this game.
Turns
and with
off,
a pinball
says
machine,
out of order, and then somebody tells me.
There's a whole ton of stuff
staff
that can go
member's
wrong.
Like, hey, that's having the X, Y, and Z issue.
Right.
So we have a QR code on every single game in the space that goes to a Google form. And I made it very simple. I don't care about your name, your email. I don't ask for anything. All I need to know is the game that you're on and what the issue is.
Yep, it's super easy.
2 questions.
Super easy.
What game? What's the issue? And so people will fill it out and they'll say, I'm on Defender, and the shoot missile button is not, it's a little sticky. And that's it. And they submit it, and it goes to a Google spreadsheet. And I don't have to care about that. I do look at it, but I don't have to look at it.
Mike looks at it.
He
prints it out.
And Zach looks at it.
Yeah.
Zach and Mike come each week. Zach does the arcade, Mike does the pinball, and they both have access to the spreadsheet, and that's what they work off of to know what they need to fix every single week.
Yeah. I don't see Zach. I mean, I know he's in
Yeah.
here. I see Mike a lot because Mike comes in on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And I'll come in and whatever. But it's so cool to see Mike. He's very professional with it. I mean, he's retired.
Right.
And he's got his bag, and he's got his tools, and he's got the paper, and he'll read the paper, and then he'll go over and do the thing. And the other day he was looking at something, and it was so complicated. It was something in Cactus Canyon that was over here, but it was because of something that was not there.
Right.
It was somewhere else, and it was on a board somewhere, and he unplugged it and then took the other one and plugged it in over here and plugged it in over here, and it didn't work. But the other one worked, so he had to okay, well, it's this plug.
Yeah.
So it's worth having people, because can you imagine if you had to do that for all? We had to do that early on when there were only 8 pins.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like a lot of what I did. I mean, I did some arcade repair, just to keep things up and running.
Yeah.
But on the pinball side, it was a much smaller collection.
Yep.
Sorry for yawning so much. Yeah, on the pinball side, we have much fewer games, and even still, it was a lot of work, particularly with like flipper rebuilds and stuff.
Yes.
And it was just
you got real good at that real fast.
I was just like, I don't want to deal with it. And so when Mike retired and said, this is all I want to do, I was like, please, just start working here and doing this. So like, Mike's amazing. And what I love about that QR code, going to a spreadsheet, going to the repair people, is it's a closed loop system and it works now. Like, people are reporting the issues because it's very easy for them to do, and then the people are coming in and fixing them every week, and I don't have to be involved with that, and we're able to maintain these games and keep them up and running. We're not always we're never probably 100%, but we are way better than we used to be at that, because of the fact that like we try to stay on top of it, because we have this whole system in place to be able to do it.
And part of your standard, part of the thing that sets this apart, again, the immersion or whatever, the experience, right, is people pay to come in the door to play games.
Right.
They're paying to come in. If I paid, and I've done this in other places, you pay to go in somewhere and half of the games don't work.
Aren't working.
And you're like, what?
Right.
You use Pinball Map or whatever, and you get there, and the one game that you want to go play doesn't work. So you're like, okay, well, I'll play the other game. Nope, that one doesn't work either. Right. And you're just like, why? Very rarely. Like very rarely does that happen here.
One or two, that's normal. That's business as usual.
Right.
But when it becomes a thing where it's a trend of a lot of them have issues or things, then it becomes like, this isn't an abandoned spot. Like, these aren't being maintained by the owners.
And Mike cleans them also. He doesn't like wax them all the time, and it's not like now if we do a tournament that we come in and do all that, but he makes sure they're clean. I mean, there might be some ball trails or whatever, but they get 300 plays a day.
Usually the cleaner they are, the less issues there are, because
really?
Yeah, because if he has time, he'll clean.
Right.
If he's dealing with those complex issues you're talking about, he doesn't have time to clean.
Right. So you can always kind of tell, like, oh man, the games look really good this week. Must have been a good week.
Must not have been a lot of issues there, right?
Yeah, so, I think it definitely has helped, and it's freed up a lot of time for you to look at other things.
Yeah.
And I mean, now you have a full bar.
And it's a point of pride for me. Like, I definitely I like that our games are maintained, that we're kept up. I think there's more work to do there, as there always is with these games. But I think it's
well,
really
and there's a
good
reputation there. People,
right?
I mean, there are places, not like regionally, but there are places that we go or that we know of or whatever, and they're like, don't even bother going there. Yeah. This place doesn't have the reputation.
Right.
If you look at the reviews or whatever.
And to your point, with as many people that are in here and it being a free play arcade, these games get abused. And sometimes even on a daily basis, we're like, having repair people come in once a week is great, but they can come in on a Wednesday and by Thursday a game might be broken.
Something's broken.
And, it's just sort of like,
and even like, you fix something on a Tuesday and the same thing breaks on Friday.
Right.
And then you fix it again on Tuesday and the same thing breaks on, and you're like, why does this keep, it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
Not that you're not fixing it, but because of the wear and tear, that same thing happens.
Yeah.
Right?
But we're in a good spot. Like, we were talking about Spy Hunter, and I was like, I got to find one.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll find one that's out of order. There are no games
there aren't
out of
any
order
right now.
There's one gun on Terminator 2 that's getting fixed on Wednesday, but there's no game that is completely down at the moment.
Well, and you can't, that's a shooter too.
Crazy.
Like, are you going to take a shooter out?
No, absolutely not.
No way.
So, so it's just sort of like, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and take a game out that is not popular, like Russian Attack or Ghosts and Goblins or
I'd say Russian Attack.
Yeah.
You said Zaxxon the other day, but it does have, do people not play it? Because it's got like the pilot stick.
It's just weird. It's
definitely a weird game, but...
Yeah, it's got that isometric 3D, kind of like not 3D, but weird isometric view.
It was trying to do something that...
It's just not a popular game. Like, you've got games in here, like
It's a good spot to put Spy Hunter
Galaga,
too.
like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man, like Donkey Kong, like Track and Field,
Oh, yeah.
Tron. These are games that are never going to leave this space. They're
Absolutely.
the clear ones.
Right.
And then you've got some obscure ones, which some people will appreciate. Don't get me wrong. Some people
Pengo.
will be like, holy shit, they had, Karate Champ, or they had, X, Y, and Z.
Is there a Karate Champ here?
Phoenix. Yeah, there's a Karate Champ here. There's a Phoenix, and some people will be like, oh man, they had Phoenix and they had, Gyrus. And you might be like, I don't care about either of those games. I don't know what either of them are.
I want to play Pac-Man.
Or why they're like, yeah.
Right.
So, that's a much smaller group that will appreciate those smaller games. But then you have a game like Spy Hunter that people are like crazy about. Like,
And that's
really,
a good spot. Zaxxon's right on the corner.
Yeah.
It's literally in the middle of the arcade.
Right.
It'd be a good spot
So,
for it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get in and out of.
We'll see. It'll probably be out this week because I'll probably try to get it on the floor before we head out of town for Pinburg.
Sponsor.
Yeah.
Major sponsor.
Right.
Bank number.
I'm sure we'll talk about that.
5,000.
I'm sure that'll be next week's episode. Will be us talking all about Pinburg because
Yes.
this is going to be exciting.
Yes. I've made a confession to pretty much everybody else in my life. I think this is like a bucket list.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'll ever even try to go again.
Yeah.
We're leaving Wednesday. And with my job, the last week in July is not the week that I should not be working.
Great. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to work, but it's not great. We leave Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all day.
All day pinball.
All day.
All
And
day
then
pinball.
if you make the finals, it's Saturday.
Saturday.
All day.
Yeah.
So we have the potential to be gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's huge.
Yeah.
So
it's cool. Like, we'll talk more about it once we've been there and seen it and all the things. And Pinburg is not what it used to be, but I want it to build up. And so we did sponsor it this year because I believe in the group that's running it and their ability to build it up to what it was.
And they asked you, right? They reached out to you?
They did. They reached out to me. And, I think they've got like 250 people participating this year, which is not nothing, Now,
It's twice as big as the biggest one I've been in.
Pre-COVID, they would have 1,000-person tournaments. So, it was literally the biggest pinball tournament in the world. So pre-COVID...
How do you even... How?
It was... And I should add on to that. On top of that, Pinburg was the pinball tournament for a much larger convention that included, arcade games and console gaming and all this esports and everything. There was one piece of a much larger picture called Replay FX, and it was huge. It was massive.
Really?
Yeah. And then I got tickets to Pinburg in 2020, and then it didn't happen because
COVID.
all the things, right? Yeah, exactly. And because Pinburg tickets, the 1,000-person tournament sold out 10 minutes. You were lucky if you got a ticket. Literally everybody would be on the gun
That's
and
what
try
we
to
were.
get a ticket. And so I managed to get a ticket in 2020, and then it closed down. And then that same year or the very next year, they were like, yeah, we're not coming back. The organization Replay FX that ran all of it just said, we can't do this anymore. And they just closed up shop. So not only did I not get to go the year that COVID happened, but then it was Pinburg is no longer a thing. So it's back now. They got rights to the name. It's a different group running it, but they got rights to the name, and it's a good group of people running it. Barrels of Fun is a major sponsor.
Yep.
The Pinburg, the Pittsburgh Pinball League is a big part of it, and the whole Pennsylvania area is big into it. But there's a good group of people running it, and Jeff Teolis was the one who reached out to me. Mm-hmm. He runs the Pinball Profile podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to having a chat with him when we're there.
Don't fanboy.
I'm kind of fanboy. I can't lie. I'm gonna kind of.
It's hard. It's hard to not
last
fanboy.
year they had 140 people. Last year was their first year doing it.
Back from COVID, yeah. Right.
140 people, and everybody was like, this isn't Pinburg or whatever. They were like, let us build it back. We need the games, we need the people, we need all the things. This year it's like 240,
250, yeah.
So
and it sold out, and we all had our devices, and it was 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I think in the next couple of years you'll see that continue to just keep growing, and so it's kind of cool. I think for the arcade to be a part of it, for us to be a part of it,
for them to ask
and be in the mix for
to
that.
recognize. I mean, you kind of got recognized.
Yeah. So we're going to be a bank sponsor. It's going to be on Twitch. So definitely check that out this coming week if you're listening to this the week of
Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, July 21st is today.
Yep.
This coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it'll be on Twitch, and we will be showing up there as a particular bank sponsor.
Maybe we'll get on stream. Maybe we'll have the rig.
We'll see. I know. Well, I'm not taking the rig with me, Tom.
No, I mean we'll get on. They'll do the qualifyings, right?
Oh, they'll do all of it.
Yeah, so, maybe we'll have the rig on us.
Fox Cities Pinball is who's going to be doing the streaming for Pinburg.
Who's great. Their streams are really good. Yeah, they're almost as good as ours.
Tom Graff does almost. No, they're better. Tom Graff does an amazing job. And so those streams will be happening, and who knows, maybe you'll see Consider I actually playing.
That'd be cool.
That would be amazing, right?
That'd be a lot of fun.
But definitely check out next week. We'll talk more about what that was like. And I do want in a future episode maybe get Zach and Mike on here to talk about repairs and stuff. But again, if there's anything else that you're interested in, anything you're curious about, you've got burning questions about what it's like to run an arcade, things that you had thought about, why I didn't decide to do them, or maybe I should have, hit us up. opencoindoor@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, and that's all I got for this week.
We're good.
Yeah. We'll
Fun
see you all next week. Take it easy, y'all.
Later.
Peace.